Mornings with Intention podcast, where we bring you stories from around the globe. Hello, and welcome back to another episode on Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. And today I have a beautiful guest with me, Wendy Barr. Hello, and welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me, Eva.
You're very welcome. So glad you're here. And let's get going. So please tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are from.
Well, I live in Orange County, California, but I'm originally from Denver, Colorado. And well, I work closely with entrepreneurs and small business owners to really help them leverage AI in their branding and marketing so that they can experience the growth in their business that they're looking for. They can get further faster.
That's amazing. Wow, I love
Yeah.
that. AI is the future, right?
No, AI is the present.
Present and the future. Yes. Yeah, of course.
Totally. It's not
Um,
going anywhere. I always say you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Like she is not going out there. She is soaring.
and that's why we're clarifying this one, right? So, there you go. So, Wendy, you worked with some legendary brands like MTV and Rockefeller Center. What pivotal lessons did you take from those experiences that you now apply when working with your clients?
Well, that was really the game changer for me. I worked with so many of these brands. I worked with their marketing department. And I would help them with their marketing and their promotion strategies so that they could, maybe they're launching a new product, maybe they were launching a new TV series, maybe they were launching a new album. I worked with a lot of record labels as well. And so I got to learn a lot on the inside with, how they perceive their ideal audience. How do they attract their ideal audience? How do they establish a compelling and relevant brand so that their brand voice and their brand messaging and everything that they're producing for that ideal audience comes off as unique and original and gains them the visibility, the traction, and the momentum that they're looking for out there in the world.
Wow, that's amazing. So I went through your website and you have so much beautiful content there. And you're also
Thank
known as
you.
the super connector. So how do you see the role of genuine connections evolving in today's digital business landscape?
Ooh, I know the answer to that one, Eva. Okay, so way back in 2003, I started a women's networking organization because I've always been that person, that super connector that loves bringing people together and particularly interested in inspiring and elevating women in business since I'm a female business owner. So I started the Women's Business Link in Colorado. We started with one networking event. It was a happy hour, and all the ladies would come together and interact, and it grew like we grew it from like five ladies to over 6,000 ladies in 5 years. It
Wow.
was tremendous. We ended up having that one we called MAC, Monday Afternoon Club. Then we added in TLC, the lunch club, and then we added in Breakfast with Champions. And then Denver is a big area. So we had Mac North, Mac South, Mac Boulder. So by the end, we were doing maybe about six events a month. So, but then I became a college professor and I was like, oh, I don't really need to network as much anymore. I'm going to focus on my students. So, Women's Business Link sat inactive for several years. And then when I started my company, late 2016, early 2017, I just put a Facebook page up there and I'm like, well, we'll just see where the ladies are, which ones are still following digitally. And next thing you know, we had 1,400 ladies in the Facebook group. And I was like, oh, okay, well, they're still out there. And they're still interested in connecting and they're still looking for visibility and referral partners and connections and resources. So I brought the Women's Business Link back to life, but this time digitally. So we now we're a global network. Before we were pretty local in Denver, just serving the Colorado area. But now we can, with all of our digital resources, we can operate on an international level. So we are the Women's Business Link Global Network, and we meet virtually on Zoom monthly. And now women from all over the world can join and connect. And since most people have a business model that allows for these kinds of connections outside of their locality. So yeah, it's really exploded. It's so much fun.
Wow, that's amazing. So what would you say is your mega goal for this community? Like, do you have something
For
huge
the
in
Women's
mind?
Business Link,
Yeah, like you want to grow it, right? Of course, but is there
oh,
something
you want me to
really
say that out loud?
if you
Okay,
want
let me
to?
say it out loud to the universe.
There you go.
My goal is to grow this community globally. My plan is to have like regional chapters in the United States. So the West Coast chapter, the Central chapter, the Mountain chapter, the West Coast. Did I say West Coast? East, West, Central. So in all the time zones. And then to expand internationally, to have a chapter in London, to have a chapter in Spain, to have a chapter in France, where women are doing business with women internationally.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's my goal. My goal really is all about empowerment, providing women with the resources that they need to build, grow, and scale profitable, successful, and sustainable businesses.
Wow, that's amazing. I absolutely love that. And that's why I was asking, like, because, when people hear this, like, they're like, wow, this lady's really like going all in, right? So they get more inspired and basically you get off your butt and you go do something, right? So it inspires people
Yeah.
to do so much more in their life, and that's what we're all
Oh,
about too, right? So, I hear a lot of mixed things with AI nowadays. Some people are scared of it, some people love it. How can you share, so can you share with us how you can help entrepreneurs integrate AI into their branding without losing their authenticity? Because sometimes
that's a
people are afraid of that.
well, that's a great question. And that actually is the work that I do out there in the world. Um, but the fact of the matter is that that can't happen. You can't use AI without losing your authenticity until you understand your brand.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of AI, you have to learn who you are as a brand. You have to figure out what your brand voice sounds like. You have to figure out what your brand tone sounds like, who your ideal client is. And I'm not talking about demographics. I'm talking about developing an emotional connection with your ideal client. So that means you have to understand their challenges. That means you have to understand what they're struggling with. And then you have to have solutions for them. Your programs, products, and services have to address these challenges directly. You have to understand the transformation you provide. You have to understand the repercussions for them to either getting or not getting their problem solved. Then you need to understand your own unique differentiation. I call it your unique ability. So, what is your unique ability? What makes you stand out? Because there are plenty of branding experts or mindset coaches, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
authors. There are so many. But I always say that you can't say the right thing to the wrong people, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right people. But you have to make sure you're talking to the right people. So once you figure all of that out, I teach my clients, I take them all the way through that. We go deep. Then once we have a solid brand for them, I teach them how to teach their AI who they are as a brand. how to teach Chat GPT to speak in their brand voice and make sure that their messaging is speaking directly to their ideal client and tapping into their unique differentiation so that it doesn't sound robotic anymore. Now it's really starting to sound like them. So I teach a lot of prompting. How
Mm-hmm.
do you prompt from a place of understanding your brand, your ideal client, and your unique differentiation?
Wow. I love that. And that's why I wanted to get you on the topic of this for people to really understand this because some people just scratch the surface and like, oh no, no, no AI, right? So it goes far beyond that. And that's why I love how you explain it for those that are listening to this, that it's much more than just, hey, AI and writing everything's for you, right? It goes
Yeah,
much deeper than that. So I absolutely love that. Now, let's focus our attention a little bit on a different topic. And there's a book I see in the back of you, and it's called Choose Confidence, The Decision to
yes.
Embrace Your Power. Do you want to show us the cover closer?
Sure, sure, yes. So I've contributed to a couple of books. This book is Business with a Woman's Touch by Linda Sterling, who's a brilliant author and collaborator. And this is my most recent book, which is an international bestseller, Choose
Congratulations.
Confidence. And that's me right there. I'm just right
There you
there.
are. Congratulations. So tell us what inspired you to write in this amazing book and the other one, of course, but let's choose the confidence. I love the topic. So today we'll
Yes, the
talk a little bit about this one. How has the
my
journey for writing this book been for you? Tell us.
my chapter is called Experiential Impact from Caves to Confidence. And when I agreed to be in this book, um, I I typically only contribute to business books. I
Mm-hmm.
write business books. I'm a business growth strategist, right? So when I was asked to be in Choose Confidence, I thought, well, gosh, I don't have any idea what to write. I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to pull some content from some of my old blog posts or something like that. And I said, well, I'll think about it when my husband and I have an anniversary trip planned to Belize. So we were going to Belize. And I said, okay, well, while I'm on the trip, I'm going to think about this. And I had some, I'm going to take notes. Anything that comes to mind, I'm going to start taking notes and I'm going to start writing this chapter about confidence. I'm a fairly confident person. Surely I can do this, right? And what happened was magical. My husband and I ended up going on a an excursion while we were in Belize to the ATM caves. And if you don't know what that is, Google it, the ATM caves in Belize. Um, like I really just wanted to go to Belize and rest on the beach. That's all I wanted to do. But my husband was like, okay, so we'll spend a couple days in the jungle, then a couple days at the beach. And while we're in the jungle, let's go and do one excursion. And then we can rest on the beach. Don't worry, Wendy, you'll be able to. Well, okay. So we're reading the reviews about this excursion, and one person said it's a little bit challenging, but we're glad there were no old people with us because that would have really slowed us down. And I looked at my husband and I said, honey, I'm old people. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to make it. Like, what if I can't? What if I slow everybody down? He's like, oh, yeah, but you're very athletic. You're in great shape. You're really physically strong. Don't worry about it. So I said, okay. When you're married to a man that's 10 years younger than you better keep up. So I'm like, I better keep up. So, okay, giddy up. Anyway, this was one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life. It
Really? But
was,
you don't look your old. You look like so young.
I am, I'm very immature.
Huh.
But
Oh,
anyway, the thing is that we were with some, 20 somethings on this excursion and it was challenging for them.
oh,
So, yeah, you had to wade through rivers, three of them, before we ever even got to the caves that were filled with water. sometimes ankle deep, sometimes way over your head where you were swimming through the cave. It was completely pitch black. You had your little um, flashlight on your forehead, and that's all you can see. And bats are flying over your head, and God
No
knows
way.
what's on the walls. And you're climbing wet, slippery rocks to get to the top to see the Crystal Maiden, who is a skeleton, a full skeleton. I wanted to see that, a full skeleton from like 700 AD.
Wow. Now that's what
Right?
you call
Like
it
I
excursion.
wanted I wanted to see it, but I had
Yeah.
no idea I was going to scale boulders that were bigger than I was, that were
Wow.
slippery with water, like in the pitch black.
Wow.
So it
Now.
was, and I did it. I did it. And I
Mhm.
came out the other side, and that's what I wrote my story about for Choose Confidence.
Wow. Wow. That's some story. Like I've been on excursions in many different countries, but I never had to go through anything what you've described. Like mine were quite good. I've been through the caves, bat caves, and things like that, but I didn't have to
I'm
tread
not
through
scared
some
of
water
bats.
like
I think
that.
there's, yeah, that was the
Yeah,
scary thing. Like you have no idea what's in that water.
yeah,
There's,
exactly. Oh my God.
and you can't see like step, like you're taking your next step. I mean, there was a time I was holding the guide's hand. Like I think I was good. Like I was on my way to break his knuckles. I was just holding so tight. It's like, okay, if and that what I thought was once we got to our final destination and we saw the skeleton, we would just pop out of the back of the cave, right? And then
Yeah,
we'd be back on the path on our way. We
yeah.
didn't. No, you had to come back the same way. So it was,
No way.
and
Really?
it wasn't an hour. It was like six. So it was, like 4 hours in the cave. It
Wow.
took like an hour to get to the cave, and then an hour. It was just very, very challenging,
Yeah,
exciting, super fun, but probably it's not something I would ever do again.
yeah. Well, note to myself, I love to go to Belize, but I'll make sure I'm not going on that one.
I
Like
know,
an
but it was
excursion
life
day.
changing. But it was
It's life-changing,
life
but
changing.
scary. Scary for me. But
Scary.
I love adventure, but I think that one is like the top adventure was
Yeah,
it.
maybe if I was 20, back
Yeah.
then I was a superhero. Like, yeah, that I could survive anything. But at this point in my life, I was kind of like, well, just the endurance part. Like, I wasn't sure I
Yeah.
could keep going. Like, and the guide even told me, "Do you want to stay here?" Like we were almost there. "Do you want to stay here? We're going to go up that slippery ladder."
Yeah.
um, into that hole. And then that's where the Crystal Maiden is. But you stay here, we'll be right back. I said, I'm not staying here. I
Yeah.
got this far. I am going
Yeah.
up the
I
slippery
ain't quitting
ladder.
now. I know that feeling too. Like you get sometimes to a certain point, you've already been through, so much, and like, yeah, no, you know what? Might as well go keep going. How bad can it get, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's some adventure you had right there. Thank you for sharing that one. And
of
anybody would love
course.
to read that, that's the book to jump into and read the rest of that chapter and many other amazing stories, I bet. So wow, thank you. Um, you share practical techniques also in this chapter in the book. Can you walk us through some methods that's been particularly important for you in your own life when you had to make big decisions or choices or confidence, really go into that confidence mode? Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Hmm.
That's it. If you
Short,
don't
sweet
try,
to
you'll
the
never
point.
know.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, if you don't try, you will never know. And so if you sit and ponder too long, think about how much further you could be on your journey if you would have just taken the risk, just gone ahead and just dove right in.
Mm. Wow, I love that. So basically, never give up, right?
Right. And we'll get started.
It started,
Like I
never give
just,
up.
I love the work that I do, I get to work with not only brand new entrepreneurs that are just getting out there and going, okay, Wendy, help me develop my brand, my programs, my products, my services. Help me learn how to sell, speak on stages, develop a marketing funnel. But I also get to do that same exact work with brilliant established business owners. And to see them light up when they make that shift is such incredibly like valuable and fulfilling work.
Wow. So are both books available on Amazon for our readers,
It-
listeners to try it?
yes,
Yep.
absolutely. And this, what is
Tell
my
us a little bit
chapter in
about that book and then yeah,
this
what do you
book?
yeah, what do you focus mainly
In
in the chapter of that book?
business. In this book,
Business.
it's mainly business,
Yep.
business with a woman's touch, Linda Sterling. And my chapter is called Existential Risk for Fast Results and Radical Business Building. And this one is really about it's directed to small business owners and entrepreneurs to help them build a sustainable business, a business that's constantly growing and scaling. Because I think a lot of us have had success in our business, and maybe we brought in our first client, and maybe we brought in 10 clients, and we started making some money, and we got comfortable. And then we went, oh, okay, see, everybody loves me. Everybody wants to buy my stuff. And then we stopped marketing, we stopped growing. And then what happened? We went down in the valley. And so in business, there are two ways to do business, right? Peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, where you panic. You're in the valley now, you're in panic mode. So you're doing everything you can to gain visibility again and put something out there that they really want to buy, or you can adopt a strategy that gives you sustainable momentum so that you're not having those peaks and valleys, because that's really, really hard on your soul.
Yeah.
When
Wow.
you're all of a sudden you just don't have any clients and you're not making any money and everybody else is making money and you're going, well, I can't afford that. No, I can't do that. No, you feel embarrassed, you feel like you have imposter syndrome, you feel so when I work with my clients, I try to help them create a marketing strategy that's sustainable so that they're not like trying to reinvent it over and over again. We'll create something that they know that they can do for the whole year. And usually it's a rinse and repeat. Just figure out how to freshen it up and adopt it to the new world and run it again.
Yeah. I love how you said that. Rinse and repeat. I really like that. I haven't heard
Yeah,
that term yet. Anybody use that before on my podcast. So I love that. So I love all your insights and thank you so much for sharing, Wendy. Our podcast is called Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. How important do you think it is to set intention in the morning for the rest of the day?
critical. So every morning I do a power walk. So I have this, and I just started this about I think maybe 2 years ago. I decided I wanted to read more books. So, and I'm a voracious reader anyways, but I read mostly fiction and novels. And that's great, but I wanted to read some business books. But I didn't want to read business books on my off time because I love the way a good novel can just take you away. So I started reading my business books and listening to business podcasts and inspirational podcasts in the morning and reading my novels in the evening. So every morning I go for a power walk, I pop in my headphones and I listen to audiobooks, business related audiobooks and or business AI inspirational podcasts every morning on my power walk. And I feel like I've grown as a professional and as a human as a result of that. And I miss it when I don't do it, but try 4 or 5 days a week.
Wow, I love that. So there you have it. Wendy, thank you so much for being on our show. I really love all your insights you've shared with us today. For those of you who love to connect with Wendy, we'll post all the information in this video in the comments and introduction. So, Wendy,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much for being here with me today, and thank you everybody else for listening. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day.
Bye, everyone. Peace.
Bye bye. Thank you so much. Take care, guys.